which is different from other harbor redevelopments because of its comprehensiveness, where you create a large zone to reinvent the city around the harbor. We've looked at other examples like the Hafen city Hamburg, for instance, or we worked on Tallinn in Estonia, harbor conditions. We looked at other examples, more tourism-based harbors in Miami, for instance. And there are some positive lessons we can learn, and we tried to bring some of those lessons to this location to create something unique. It doesn't have any weakness yet.
And I think a great advantage is that this development or this shift from industrial use to urban use happens very quickly. So you can still pick and retain elements that you want to bring forth to the urban stage of the development. We are already getting involved as planners at the stage where the current harbor is still partially in operation, and that means we can be way more conscious in the transformation process. So I think we have a very good starting position here because we still have access to all the ingredients and then can plan the transformation in a very conscious fashion.
The first concept is that the harbor area becomes a new city center. The second idea here is that we have a garden city concept. So we have building up a low-rise, high-density condition with a lot of facilities, but we avoiding towers. And we get a lot of connection of the waterfront to the depths of the fabric, and we're having a cluster of iconic buildings which don't need to be towers, like the concert hall, the cruise terminal, the harbor museum, which will be visible from everywhere. And I think that's unique and beautiful and gives a new character and identity to this particular place.
And when you think of Qinhuangdao also being a recreational destination, we believe we don't want to turn this into a, let's say, tourism district. We believe this can become a prototype of a city with a recreational aspect. So we generate a very broad use mix. So we want the city to work, to be a lively part of town. So when we talk about a garden city, it means that we interlace every street that we can use by cars with a street that is exclusively for pedestrians. So along with this kind of low-rise scale comes a high degree of porosity and walkability. So the entire relationship between the human actor in the city and the scale of the buildings is very cautiously considered to create a very inviting environment for pedestrian commutes.
So for instance, through the new streets, the street layout which bring vistas and access, the new train station, so we bring transport means to this hub, very important. These two aspects will make it a very attractive city center, and I think Qinhuangdao lacks a very attractive city center. It's a seafront city, and I think that's very essential, and the urban geometry supports that.
And the main intervention we do is we introduce corridors that are perpendicular to that. And what this does, it not only activates the harbor area, it also advertises it to the other districts of the city. So we can create wider views from the more inland parts of the city, naturally connecting these elements. And at the entry points to the harbor areas, we will have slightly larger buildings. So from a distance, you can already see where you can enter the harbor area. And I think if you look at the structure of the current harbor, that's the main change, that we introduce a perpendicular connectivity and porosity that really brings the sea closer to the cities.